I just kind of creating a random video today. I discovered a use for ChatGPT that is very beneficial to me, and I just wanted to share that via YouTube. And that use is Optical Character Recognition, OCR for short. And that's the ability of computers to be able to convert handwriting into text that you can then work on the computer. And there's multiple reasons that you would want to use OCR. And I've been playing around with it for years, but I've just never been satisfied with the technology. But it appears that ChatGPT is actually able to do it better than any of the softwares that I used pre-AI in the past. And the reason that I had become interested in OCR, one, applies to just about anybody. I believe that writing like analog in the real world is far more beneficial than doing it on the computer. There's just something about working in the real world, in the tangible world, that is so much more beneficial. Even, for instance, it's proven like in therapeutic ways. For instance, people that suffer from PTSD, sometimes in order for to help them work through that trauma, they have them write about the experience that they went through that caused that trauma. And when they have them write, they specifically have them write it on paper. They don't have them, type it onto a computer or into a, like in their phone, because there's something about taking the thoughts from the mind and putting them into the real world that has like real tangible benefits. And I think that applies across the board. I keep all of my to-do list on regular paper. When I'm out in public traveling, I prefer to not keep notes in my phone. I will if I need to, but I prefer to write notes on a notepad. And one neat side note about carrying a notepad and writing notes in a notepad is when you're having a conversation with someone and you whip out your phone, for instance, while they're talking, even if it's because you want to make note of something that they're saying, it just feels rude. Like you even have to explain yourself. But if you pull out a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen and you write a note, there's just something about that doesn't offend people. And I think it actually becomes clearer that you're making a note probably about what you're speaking about. So it actually kind of ingratiates you with the person that you're speaking to and they find it interesting. So that just side note, which is overall, like I could go on and on about why writing in the real world is beneficial compared to in the digital world. But number two benefit that I started looking into OCR as well is because when I was in law school, and then my first job out of law school, I was working actually helping out in the accounting department at the place that I was at. And all of that typing and then the keypad doing the accounting with the numbers, I developed really bad tendonitis in my hands. And then plus from using the mouses, it wasn't technically carpal tunnel, but it's very similar to carpal tunnel. And this applies also to anybody that suffers from carpal tunnel, is if you have issues typing, then you want to be able to write, somehow, but everything's done on computers. So how do you convert that into text? And one other method that I played around with that I felt was unsatisfactory was the computers that have the ability, the computers and tablets that allow you to have like the pen, the digital pen, and you can like draw and write on those. And those also just didn't quite do the trick for me. It just still existed in that digital world. And then also on top of that, it didn't do a very good job of recognizing the handwriting and converting that into text. Even though you were writing on a digital notepad, you still want to convert that into text, so then you can go back and edit and manipulate it, and work with it in those ways. For instance, like a lot of writers, like Hemingway, for instance, he would write on pencil and paper, or pen and paper, I'm not sure. But he would write on paper first, the first iterations of the stories he would write, and then he would go and then he would type them with a typewriter. So what this method of OCR does is it skips that step. Now you can just write, and then you can have your handwriting converted into text, and then you can just start editing and manipulating the text that way. Moving paragraphs around, editing words, all that stuff. Sorry. So I've said enough about that. Now I want to get into the demonstration of actually how it works on ChatGPT. All right, so I think I've said enough about all the reasons why you would want to use OCR, and now I want to demonstrate how it works with ChatGPT. So first, you are going to take your pencil, pen, and paper, and you're going to write whatever in your notepad. I'm using a lined notepad today. I actually did try it with an unlined, and it worked, but I felt like it didn't work quite as well, and it didn't recognize the handwriting. Initially, I had to break it down into smaller chunks because I had some big paragraphs, and maybe that was the reason. Today, I'm just going to do one paragraph for you and kind of demonstrate. But I think lined paper is easier for ChatGPT to recognize, so that's what I'm using today. Today, I am demonstrating how ChatGPT is really good at optical character recognition, has been useful to me for converting my writing to digital so that I can edit and expand on my stories and blogs that I write in my notebook. Let's see how good this works in this example. I'll try throwing a little twist, and we'll cross out example and write demonstration just to see what happens. So as you can see, my handwriting isn't really that good. I wouldn't, if I wrote this on a digital notepad, it would have a very difficult time converting this into regular text, in my experience, using like digital pens and pads, just for comparison. All right, but now we have that, and the next thing we need to do is we need to take a picture of the writing so that then we can upload it to ChatGPT. Okay, so normally you'd be able to just take the picture with your phone and upload it to your ChatGPT instance that you would have on your phone. But because I want to demonstrate for you, I'm going to send it to my computer so that way I can upload it on the computer for you. All right, so I've got it uploaded to my computer here. And I'll just drag it to my ChatGPT. Always have to be polite to the AI because we don't know what the future holds. And let's see. All right, didn't capture it the first time. It's going to enhance and try again. Okay, after a few tries, so that demonstration, it actually did not go as well as my previous time that I did it when I actually wrote a lot more. But let's see how accurate it was, because I can't say it didn't go well because it was the first try and maybe it got it right. So let's see. Today I'm demonstrating how ChatGPT is really good at optical character recognition. It has been useful to me for converting my writing to digital so that I can edit and expand my stories and blogs that I write in my notebook. Let's see how good this works in this demonstration. And it actually excluded the crossed out where I wrote example and did demonstration. So that was interesting. It actually worked perfectly. Because even though it said, it was struggling, it still got it correct on the very first try. And so actually, let's try something I wrote. Actually, this is a couple weeks old. It's got a lot more. Let's see how it does with that. A little kind of manifestation journal entry I wrote to myself a few weeks ago. Let me take a picture of that and see how that does. So this image actually, if you can see here from my WhatsApp, it's not very clear. It's actually a little blurry in the image, so we'll see how well it's able to handle that. Interesting. So it's giving me two results. It's transcribing it on the first try. They both look identical to me. I'm just going to click on the first one. Well, that actually went really well. It looks perfect for me. I don't know if I'm going to bore you with my reading of my journal entry there. That looks perfect to me. So anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to demonstrate today. So I hope you found that interesting. I hope you can make some uses of that. I think I'm going to be using it a whole lot, especially after that demonstration, because I love to write, and even though it takes some toll on my hands when I type, if I can decrease that as much as possible, it's very helpful. So if I can just write on paper and then only have to use the digital interface to edit and stuff like that, then that's such a big addition to my life. I really can't even talk about how beneficial this is to me. All right, I had to stop recording because my camera overheated. So if it looks like the lighting changed, you're right, because I lost all my light outside and now I got my key light here, which isn't that great as I'm still developing the studio. But anyway, OCR, major game changer for me. I don't know how much it means to other people to be able to do something like this, but it is something I've been waiting for a long time, to have the technology catch up with my needs as far as wanting to be able to write, but then also transfer it to digital and work that way. So I hope this video was beneficial to you. And if you watched, really, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Take care, like and subscribe. All right, thanks. Take care.